Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Fisher, and I'd like to welcome you to our Tech Security podcast series. Today, we'll be talking with one of our customers, Yogesh Kumar from Tata Advanced Systems, and he is the leader of business applications and security functions at Tata Advanced Systems. And today we're going to be talking about risk management in modern enterprise organizations and understand from Yogesh's perspective how he looks at risk across the enterprise and some of the ways that he manages risk and communicates risk to the other executives in his organization. So first of all, Yogesh, I'd like to welcome you to the podcast and thank you for your today. We appreciate you and we appreciate you taking the time to share with us and our customers how you do.
Thanks a lot, Chris. So it's really wonderful for me to join this podcast and share my thoughts on this. So definitely, the journey starts with the partners, and it doesn't go like that. It ends somewhere in between. It has end-to-end understanding. So if you understand well to your customers and customer understand you well, so then it becomes a really a good partnership, and it goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree.
so
Thank you. Well, and we also wanted to say thank you for your business. We appreciate your support of tax security from Tata Advanced Solutions, and we would really like to know a little bit more for our audience, a little bit about yourself and your background. Could you please share a little bit about your background and your role at Tata Advanced Systems, Yogesh?
yeah, thanks, Krish. I have been working in the IT industry for more than 17 years now. So I am the digital transformation agent, and I do carry out a lot of initiatives around the digital transformation. I handle IT and business applications and reap out the benefits out of these things. So how IT and how business application can combine together and make uh, uh, the organization into the new generation platform, roll out that one. And then when IT and business applications are concerned, so definitely security comes into picture. So we can always take out benefit of the new technologies, but it definitely gives a concern about the cyber security. So ease out comes with a hitch. So I have been working with the organization on the cyber security intensely for quite some time. So I have joined Tata Advanced Systems 2 years back. So I started my journey as a IT and head of IT and business application, and later on I was given that role of CISO as well. So in order to assess what are the security posture, how is the current architecture, how we can improve it, and how seriously we can represent it to the customer. Okay, so when we talk about Tata Advanced Systems, let me brief about that organization itself. So we are into the manufacturing of defense equipments. So when defense equipments, it's not smaller things that we manufacture. We are making rocket launchers or missile launchers. So the information becomes a mission critical for us. So we cannot afford losing the information. So we have segregated systems where we kept the confidential information and where do we have a normal communication with the users. So in this way, we have taken many measures, and tax security has definitely helped us in carrying out our business functions and helping us in the cybersecurity posture improvement. So we had engaged regarding the ISO 27001, and we had gone through the platform that SecSecurity has given us as ESOF platform. And I tell you, it was a very wonderful tool for us to visualize the entire company posture. Where are we on ISMS? Otherwise, it comes into the Excel sheets only, and it becomes quantitative rather than qualitative rather than quantitative. So in terms of the ESOF, we were able to quantify that one, and able to get the scores. Where are we standing on that? So that way, it was a good thing that we have seen from the ESOF platform. And now again, we are in discussion. So they have come up with new generation and additions they have done onto that platform.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, thank you. So when you're looking at risks, obviously if you're building defense systems, the government is a very serious client, and you have to take the security matters very seriously for them to be able to be supporting them. Um, so when you're looking at all the different areas of risk, business applications, I'm sure, have significant risks. How do you put that into context, to explain it to maybe some of the non-IT or non-technical executives in your organization when you're looking to gain alignment on the seriousness of cybersecurity for Tata?
So I tell you my practical experience regarding that. So when it comes to the layman and the non-IT or non-technical resources, let's say I talk about fitters or builders or somebody else. So it's not like that they cannot be if they do not want to, they do not use the system at all into the company, they cannot be a part of cyber security threat or risk. So they are always into the risk. So one person can call them, just like you see wishing platforms are there, calls them, asks the critical information, and they gives that information without uh, getting into the verification, right? So what we have done as overall organization, so we have set up some uh, uh, trainings and some cybersecurity workshops, awareness workshops. And in one of the incident, I had just took his email ID that he was not so serious about the cybersecurity. I showed him that you have been hacked, or your data was compromised so many times, and you
Mm,
are not aware about it. And if you get a ransom call from somewhere, how will you recognize whether it is a legitimate or not legitimate, right? So sometimes we need to give the practical example rather than just giving them a theoretical thought, right? So
sure.
that way, first assessment that we carry out how much they are vulnerable. We carry out the employee assessment through the wishing phishing platforms, and we had carried out last year with the help of tech security itself. uh, so this year also we are carrying out it. We are using some online platform for that. And the once you get the employee score, how many times he has clicked onto that link without verifying the information, then we come to know that the employee is not so serious about the company information, right? And if somebody calls him and asks the credentials and he's readily give it, so then again it shows the non-seriousness about it. So we carry out first signage across the organization. We put the signages, and
Mhm,
we carry out workshops
mhm,
to make them aware.
mhm,
And risk assessment we do with the help of the questionnaires that we ask them. We approaches different departments and check how they are randomly check their awareness,
Hmm.
right? So with that way, practically we could figure out that somehow our security posture is standing here, and the non-technical or technical resources, we could be able to segregate out that technical resources are sitting at this risk level, and non-technicals are
Hmm.
sitting on that risk level.
Okay. So, so one of the challenges that I'm hearing from security organizations, Yogesh, is that an executive like yourself needs to go in and present to your peers, the other executives at your organization, to tell them how you're managing the risks, what level the risks are at. Do you do you have to do that as well at Tata, where you go in regularly to present to the other executives what the security posture is and how well the organization is doing on managing cyber risk?
So I tell you about the company cybersecurity posture itself. As we understand, and every employee understand that they are serving the defense. So as such, they are aware that we are into the serious business. So we have to take care of the security the foremost. And during the induction program, also during their joining, so we educate them. We tell them, boss, you are into a very serious business where any a single information lost out may lead the company entire company into a troublesome situation where either paying a ransom money or the loss of credible information in the organization.
Mm.
So, as you rightly said, that I have to go to the peers, make them understand about the cybersecurity. So, primarily, they understand the security, but as cybersecurity domain is not just like a constant, and it remains flat, that every time we have to tell them only password saving is sufficient or only this one is sufficient. We have to tell them that these are the new threats that are there in the market and how to safeguard yourself from that.
Hmm.
So, with quoting the practical examples, with the recent example, let's say Domino's, there was a breach, or some other breaches happened where massive data was taken out. So we tell them that nobody is safe in this world as far as cybersecurity is concerned. So
Hmm.
beat anybody. So some or the other way, his credentials are lost. So what we need to take care, how to take care of the cyber security posture and safeguard the company data. So at least we should be sensitive enough when we are sharing the confidential data. So there are the layers that we have to create, classification that we have to create. So apart from the data, which we can, let's say, classify using some tools, with some data classification tool, this is highly confidential or this is less confidential, like that. Apart from that, if we talk about also, then we have to be cautious what information to tell and when and to whom. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that way we need to conduct some workshops, some discussions, or definitely. So the seniors do not have so much time to discuss on the workshops. So I take their time specifically and discuss with them, meet them, that this is how you can safeguard yourself.
Okay. Okay. So you've mentioned a number of different, so, classifying confidential data and making sure that it's protected, doing the security awareness trainings and making sure that the workshops are done and people are aware of what their responsibility is with regard to cybersecurity best practices. Can you talk a little bit more, Yogesh, please, about some of the ways that you've used the tax security platform to help you assess where you have challenges in your applications or your infrastructure? You mentioned a little bit about your ISO audit.
Okay.
Can you maybe describe a little bit about, I know
Okay.
tax security be one of many tools that you're using in your security programs. So maybe you could share with our audience a little bit about which of the areas that you use tax security for and how it helps you.
Sure. I'll take you through that one. So let me tell you that we had engagement with tax security regarding the complete ISMS program, and it contains the evaluation of the architecture first, assessment of it. Where are we? First, assessment that what is the as is situation, and then
Mhm,
assess where we want to be as an organization, and what are the gaps, and in order to fill that gaps, what are the solutions, processes that are required to be implemented. So in that case, tax security has helped us through the ESOF platform and the VAPTs that they conducted. They helped us to find out the vulnerabilities, what we had in their application and infrastructure. And as such, we do not open ports or open the application for the internet. So we all have in-house infrastructure. So still that becomes a concern if somebody gets into the network. So whatever vulnerabilities are there, he may exploit those vulnerabilities, right? So they helped us how to safeguard, and they advised. So what should be the roadmap for us to go ahead on that side?
okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, I'm also curious, you talked about managing the cyber risks. Are you managing cyber risk as part of an overall larger risk management program at Tata? I mean, I'm in many organizations, there's a risk management function which deals with operational risk or business risk and technical risk. Are you part of that discussion, Yogesh?
Yeah, actually, there is a uh, discussion at the Tata Group level, which talks about the complete security posture of the entire Tata Group. It's not about only single company. So whether it is Tata Advanced Systems or TCS or anybody else, right? So um, there is a group of people who who takes care about this thing, and they carry out meetings at a certain intervals where we are involved, and we assess ourselves where are we standing. So that is called OTON, so one Tata one network.
Mm,
So we are onto that one. So that in case a single company is compromised, so they what they do, they take that information and first mitigate, or first help them to improve their cybersecurity infrastructure, and then spread awareness across the group that somebody has clicked it, somebody, let's say, submitted has some information by mistake, and it has led to a cybersecurity incidents. So overall, risk management is there, one from the cybersecurity perspective, then it combines with the business risks, and overall it is presented at the board level that these are the types of risks that we have across the group itself. So
mhm,
be it any small company or bigger company. So first it is done at the company level, then let's say myself responsible for cyber security risk, then one person is CCSO there. He assesses from uh, the physical security risk. Okay, then business risk manager is there. He checks what are the business risks. So
mhm,
similarly, there are different functions,
mhm,
and put together there is a they combine that all observations and put across to the management, where
Mhm.
MD or some senior executive can take part to the board meeting itself.
Great, thank you. So I'm curious, do you have any challenges when you're communicating? Let's say you're in that group and you're talking with the business risk manager or operational risk manager. Um, are there any challenges for you trying to describe the cybersecurity issues and risks, or do they understand that well enough?
So let me tell you actually what happens. The cyber security, again, I will say that it doesn't remain constant. So it is ever changing platform. So whatever you tell today that to the board or to the entire company, it's let's say some committee members are there, then you tell them that this is the current security posture that you have, right? And let's say, for example, I talk about particular port which is legitimate, but the uh, the actions, the cyber security threat can even occur through that legitimate or secure port also.
Mm.
Some even your cyber security applications that you have taken, that can also be compromised, right? So we have to tell that the ever changing platform is there, and with the uh, advantage of these technologies, with the invent of the technologies like cloud and the other platforms, AI, MLs, right? So security has gone many folds, and the number of attacks have come to a significant level. The people
Mm.
are trying to attack from multiple angles, use trying AI, ML technologies, and sometimes targeted or sometimes not targeted. So there may be different things. So what I feel a challenge for any CISO
Hmm.
to make understand the business about the cybersecurity postures that is ever changing, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's say 1 year we tell them these are the application or these infrastructure that we can make secure through this. So at the senior most level, they want to understand about always the score. Where are
Mm.
we standing? Are we using? Are we on 10 of 10 or 9 of 10, or where are we? But
Hmm.
as this is dynamic always, so we have to reassess from time to time, right?
Hmm.
And tell them that this is the new threat which has come into the picture and how we can mitigate with these technologies,
Okay.
right? So they come up that every time you bring up some new investment or this way that, because you can make some investment one time and then they said that, boss, we are secure now, but how can we make it dynamic or agile
Mm.
so that the current issue, that is challenge, is going on.
Okay. Great. Thanks for that, Yogesh. So you mentioned an interesting concept when you were describing how you communicate with the other executives, which is the idea of a score. Um, a cyber risk score is something that organizations like yours sometimes use and help them communicate. And I'm just curious if you could share. One of the features of tax security's ESOF platform is a cyber risk score. Do you use that, and how do you use that in your communication across the organization to build awareness and gain alignment with your other colleagues?
Okay, so what we have done, from the individual perspective, we have not done it. So I have done it for the from the organizational perspective overall. So we had utilized tax security ESOF platform, where we could figure out that this is where we are standing as of now, and this is the score, and there are pointers how we can improve it. So from the ESOF platform, we were able to figure out where we need to improve. If we improve on this side, then our score will go high and we can significantly improve on this side, right? So we took that measures. We involved tech security team to help us in improving the posture. So definitely there was some you can say expert advice, and there was a team who helped us in carrying out that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to score better. And with that score, I was able to project to the management and the auditors that this is the significant change that we have brought to our
Mm-hmm.
system. And you can believe us that we are here and we are trying to maintain this score, and we will further try to improve on this. But
Okay,
there may be certain constraint on, let's say, infrastructure, old infrastructure, or old applications or legacy applications that we need to carry out. So in order to support the earlier means legacy applications, basically.
got it. Okay, so it sounds like, if I understand what you're saying, Yogesh, you use the cyber score within your security organization to understand your as is situation and do some modeling and determine where you should fix things to improve your overall posture.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
So so we could figure out where we can improve with the means the platform is good enough to tell us that where we can improve and get the better score on to that one. And then further we were in discussion with with the tech security team how we can maintain and even get better on that situation.
Mm-hmm.
uh, because again it's always a learning from the earlier uh, incidents or earlier uh, audits, and how we can improve it again and again. So there must be a maturity level, right? So
Mm-hmm.
ISO 27000 also talks about the maturity. So maturity level, every year we have to improve somewhere, right? So there are always three segments: people, process, and technology. And people remains the weakest link, as you know. So so how to improve on that side? Put more and more tools which can help you automate things, and so that people do not forget to take action,
Mm-hmm.
right? Enough reminders are there, or enough automation is there. So on to that side, we are in currently discussion with the tech security team how we can further change our posture and automate things which are pretty day-to-day things, and let's say patch management or the VAPT. How we can know, because let's say I conduct VAPT now, and in 1 month time somebody deploys another application, right? I
Mm-hmm.
do not know what kind of security issues that has come up, and that may be a shadow IT also. So we are in a discussion that some solution must be there where I know about my cybersecurity posture at all the time without conducting this VAPT specifically after a quarter or 6 months time.
Okay, cool. That sounds very interesting. So another question for you, Yogesh, about, you mentioned about the things that you find that you need to fix to make your security posture better. Um, how do you go about prioritizing which things to fix? Is there something that you leverage within our solution, or is that a discussion within your team? How do you approach that in terms of setting your priorities to address risk?
So it's a mix of it. Uh, it was a tool also which helped us in carrying out assessment that which can be taken up on a high priority. So it has given us a risk on, let's say, some X things or X application. It is under high risk. So what kind of solution we should put to make it working? So then it amounts to discussion. It leads to discussion. So we had a discussion with the tax security team. So there may be hundreds of solutions to cater that problem, but what should be the best solution out of it? So we had evaluated 3 4 applications, and then is the best breed of that kind. And also it depends on the environment. So everything, anything cannot be fit to us. Okay. So I talk about always that there is no golden bullet which can be a fix for all the organizations. So even if it is a defense, then also we need a study to understand applicability. So we cannot just say that let's say EDR solution, just put that EDR solution just like that. So we have to study the environment carefully, which solution, which technology should be there. So ease of platform, it gives us the visibility, some visibility, then discussion with tech security team experts and the vendors and our own evaluation. So this put together has led us to uh, improve the postures and prioritizing the things, that these are the things first we should take care, then on the next level we should take care of this thing. For example, it's very important that we are protected from outside first.
Mhm.
Whatever applications are hosted, which are accessed through internet, so that must be first protected as a first line of defense, should be there. Then second layer, what are the critical devices which are hosted inside, and then can be exploited if somebody is there. So likewise, we had categorized ourselves, and with the help of expertise from tech security, so and we had taken that decision.
Okay, great. So, I guess I really appreciate the time that you've taken to share some of your thoughts with us. I guess I'm going to ask you one final question here as we wrap up. Your audience for this podcast will be other security leaders and practitioners like yourselves. Do you have any closing thoughts you could share with our audience about, as security leaders, what are the things that we should be thinking about as we evolve our architecture and manage risk going forward? You mentioned that security is ever changing, but so do you have any advice for the audience on how to think about risk and looking at risk on a go forward basis?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to share my thought. Again, there is no single bullet or single things that can cater any organization's problem. So when we say about the cyber security risk, so when you assess the environment, study the environment, you should look into the various factors. As you rightly said, there are business risks, there are cyber security risks, there are physical security risks. So there are many multiple risks are there. And put together, if we are able to see that if let's say even cyber security risk is low, but overall we are getting a risk for the overall company and to the highest level, so that it becomes a matter of concern. So we should see it holistically. From cyber security perspective, I would like to say that we should study the environment properly, how we have implemented the cyber security solutions, where is our data, what is a concern for us,
Mhm.
is it data or is it a process or even data, how much classified is that? So data, at times I found that the organizations are not classifying the data, and they don't know where my data is lying. So the data discovery is important, data classification is very important, and then the assessment of the environment is important. So once you assess these things and then put a layout, the cyber security layout for yourself, how the data is traveling across the organization. The data is onto the premise or onto the cloud. Who are accessing the data? Are the means how we can establish that legitimate uh, connections to it, right? So in today's environment, we talk about that there is no trust. So definitely, when people are working from home or working from anywhere, so they are landing into different networks. Sometimes employee even use the public network, public Wi-Fi. So there is a requirement of zero trust into the network. So zero trust network must be assessed by the organization as per their need. And different solutions that we check for the organization based on the applicability, right? Applicability is very, very important as far as environment is concerned. So every solution is not applicable to every organization. So these are the few things that I would like to say, and I want to emphasize one more thing. So data loss or application compromise, that is inevitable. One or the other day, somebody comes. Even NASA was data's compromised sometimes, right? So what we should do, from the standpoint of the security, so data must be in encrypted format always. Even if it is lost, then one should not be able to utilize that data,
Mm.
right? Second thing, if the uh, data at rest or at in transit, that must be always checked, that where are our data, where is our data lying, whether it is inside or outside premise. Third thing is backup is very important.
Mhm.
We should back up our important data. At times the hard disk may crash, system may crash, or the data may be lost. The companies are lending up, paying millions and crores of rupees that we see in various news. If we have a good backup system and we can immediately create a replica of it, and the other thing, that let's say backup is again 1 day or 2 days old, then other thing that we can look for is the DR site.
Mm.
If for critical things we have a DR site, at least we are not dependent on the single application, right?
Okay.
So these are the few things that we can take care of. Otherwise, means nobody can say that we are 100% secure. So in one
Sure.
of the discussion with one vendor, he was just saying that it will protect everything. Boss, can you write that it can prevent 100%? No, nothing.
No one
It
can.
cannot. No one can. So that's why we should take precautionary measures. Other things that is not in our hand. It is always uh, cat race, right?
Absolutely.
Uh,
Okay.
it was-
Well, thank you so much. Again, our guest today, Yogesh Kumar, he's the head of IT and business applications and the CISO for Tata Advanced Systems. We really appreciate your time
yeah.
today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Same here.
talking to our audience and sharing some of your insights and experiences to help us all protect our organization. So
Thanks a
thank
lot
you
for
so
the
much.
opportunity. Yeah.
Speak again soon.